The wild here doesn't whisper, it roars. Glaciers crack like thunder. Waterfalls carve paths through time. And in the middle of it all, she waits. Motor yacht unbridled. A sanctuary of warmth and refinement in the heart of Alaska's untamed frontier. Bears wander the shoreline. Whales breach on the horizon. Seals nap on drifting ice while you sip champagne on the aft deck. This isn't a cruise, it's a calling, and only the bold will answer. Now booking your next unforgettable charter, yachtunbridled.com or through your preferred charter broker.
Top of the morning, folks. It's Captain Liam, Morisod Unbridled here. I've got the honour of having Fifi and Mick. I know I'm going to pronounce it wrong a couple of times here, mate. Is that correct, Mick?
It is indeed, yeah.
Perfect. This lovely couple are from Clear Coast Solutions, which is a digital business consultants and virtual assistants to kind of help people navigate that kind of area. Is that correct? Tell us about yourselves.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Switzerland. My real name is Frederique, but everybody call me Fifi. And my passion for the maritime world comes primarily from diving. Okay, so I'm a really big scuba diver. I left home when I was 18 to go diving basically around the world. I lived almost 17 years in Egypt, exploring the Red Sea, diving. I used to be a diving instructor, and then I worked on liveaboards, on charter liveaboard as a cruise director and in charge of the diving operations. And then I kind of had enough, because the season is hard going every week. And then I kind of stepped back and then started to take on more of a role of an operation manager, if you want, looking after vessels, the whole operation from a charter business, basically. So at my peak, I had about 4 boats, 100 guests per week, thousands of crew, and thousands of dates and things like this. And on that journey, obviously, I was doing quite a lot of trade show, and then I met Mick, who was working for another liveaboard company. And as luck had it, both our companies merged.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So then I moved over to the headquarters of his, or what became my company as well, in Thailand. And then, we got married, had a child.
Lovely.
And continued working basically in the liveaboard, scuba diving liveaboard industry.
And what was the moment? It's a beautiful summary. And what was the moment? Because I've seen the website and I've also seen the dive platform website. And that's kind of where the marketing and digital space kind of created for you both. And then did that like trigger an idea saying, let's start a company, or?
Yeah, I mean, we both kind of followed the same path. I waited longer before I left. I used to work in IT back in the UK. And 2003, I left to Thailand. So kind of followed a similar path there, worked on the liveaboards, then did boat manager stuff, and then became, by kind of pure accident, just through moving through the company that we ended up with, did a lot of marketing work. So I was the marketing manager for me. And then not too long ago, recently, times changed. We had an opportunity to we'd been playing on the side with Clear Coast Solutions, and we had an opportunity to kind of make a jump. So we kind of jumped at it. So it's what we were doing anyway. And we decided to kind of jump out, do it for ourselves, and we're kind of aiming ourselves at small and medium-sized companies. Dive businesses they tend to be run by people who are passionate about diving, and they're not passionate about marketing. It's not an unusual thing. So we kind of just try to help them out, and in the digital world, in the modern world, it's people are looking online, right? So that's where you need to be found.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember in Costa Rica recently, and thank you for sharing your stories. I was walking down the beach and it was a beautiful sunset, and I saw everyone, probably 100 people scattered around the beach near Papagayo, all on their phones, not really taking picture of the sunset so much, but just engaging on their phones. And that's kind of where I went, hang on, this is the future of any form of communication, is this digital space, whether it's the social medias or the televisions or the streaming lives. That's the space it's in. When you say small to medium, like 10 employees to 50, or you're looking at?
Kind of varies. I mean, the smallest we're dealing with is 2. There's 2 of them, but silent. So yeah, 1 working. And then kind of up to there's no real limit, but the bigger companies tend to be all in house. So it's we'll take anyone up to the point of where they don't have their own marketing team. Essentially, yeah.
A lot of yacht owners and yacht captains are now influencers, if you want to call them, kind of get into this space. But am I correct in saying that's very different from marketing? Like, people are trying to kind of get into this digital space. But what I've learned from dealing with some professionals like yourselves and Ray, Yachting International Radio, and Alex at Yachty World, and some wonderful other people in the industry, marketing is different. Would that be correct?
It's I think influencers are part of it. They're part of the whole story.
Okay.
I think I would say maybe even up until around 5 years ago, kind of the birth of Instagram almost was kind of when the influence thing kind of exploded. And now almost everyone can be an influencer, it's you take your phone, you speak to your phone, and you put it out in the world. And, if you get the crowd following you, then all of a sudden you're an influencer, right?
This shift also that call influencer anymore, they call creator, because they're creating.
The artist. But then all of a sudden, like within that 5 years, it's gone back to now all of a sudden people are pushing authenticity, no editing, authenticity. And it's like, well, it's, like, I don't know. For me, marketing's the strategy people use to get an end result. You know what I mean? And I think that's where you have to kind of, what's the end result for people,
It's a whole bunch of things. Some of it is very common sense. Some of it is kind of more complicated, and it's the way digital is. It changes so fast. It's constantly moving, constantly changing. So it's kind of, AI is the current buzz. So
your market is going to dive businesses. Have you kind of got into that yachting space, or because you're obviously passionate about the maritime sector? Where do you kind of find your company kind of working with clients? What's your client range, or everything from cafes to?
We have some, like, locally, if you want, like traditional little businesses, bakeries and things like this, and things we do for friends. But I think our passion still lies in this maritime and this basically ocean world. I love diving, and we worked in this industry. Albeit it's not super yacht, it's not sailing yacht, it's just a branch of that maritime world, if you want. We worked so long that it still remains our passion. And we just started the business, so it's like, okay, let's go, we'll make it work, and starting to get the name out and make it.
Well, I can tell you there's a big space in yachting for that need, because there's a lot of people. It's kind of like a big gap. You've got these big marketing machines of like Northrop and Johnson and Burgess and all these big super yacht times and companies. And then you've got these smaller influencers or creators, if you want to call it, who are kind of trying to find their space. But the gap is just so huge. You've got these huge marketing teams of 10 or 20 people versus smaller people like stewardesses who are starting companies on the side that don't really know how to market their products. And that's where I see Clear Coast Solutions in this space. But the big thing about it is the passion for the maritime sector. Like, what we're trying to sell is exactly what you felt when you were diving in Thailand. We're trying to sell that experience to the clients. And that's kind of where we reached out to each other and went, we've got a similar objective here. We're trying to sell an experience, How do we do that?
Yeah.
It's also like, because we worked on boats so long, it's like, we know that you tell me, okay, where are we going? I'll charter tomorrow. And I'm already like, checklist tomorrow. And what's going to happen and what it takes to make that charter happen. And
absolutely.
Our expertise, but just our life.
It just becomes part of, you work, I think it's the ocean's like nothing else really. You work on the ocean and it just kind of gets into you.
Yeah.
And it's, I lived essentially on the ocean for 5 years. Fifi probably longer, maybe. And it's just kind of, even when we moved away from Thailand, the first thing was we need to be near the ocean.
Yeah.
We barely in it, but we can see it, and it's kind of,
you can feel it.
It's hard, yeah.
I'm reading this book called A Blue Mind, and I've read it a couple of times, but I keep referring back to this book, and I keep kind of opening and closing, and I'll send you the link. But it talks about not just the chemical reaction we have to ocean, but the fact that our body is 75% water, and we have this, everyone goes to ocean for comfort. They go to water for comfort. They have moments in the shower. They go to waterfalls. They run water in little things. It's this energy that keeps us coming back. And I think, I don't know, with people like David Attenborough and some wonderful, diving companies in the world, they've just the ocean is still raw. It's still so raw. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. We were talking about something the other day. I can't remember what it was, and it was we were out in the desert a few days ago, and we could see rain on the horizon, and I was like, we need to not be in the middle of nowhere here. Because one thing you don't argue with is water. It's just this power, this primal power, and this physical power that is just so.
That's what keeps people coming back. It's strange. Like, we do a lot of successful owner and charter trips on Morisod and Bridal, and companies like Clear Coast Solutions can kind of help get more audience towards what the products we sell. And we sell, like you're saying, the experience, that raw beauty of a waterfall where you see bears at the bottom, salmon. It kind of connects it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
There's a saying I have as a captain, and I put this book with all my certificates in. And every time I have to show the book to someone, on the front page, it says, I have known the ocean for too long to have any respect for its decency. And it sounds a bit negative, but it just means Mother Ocean always wins. Like, it's just a fact. She always wins. You just have to be patient and respect her, and she'll treat you well. You hope.
Yeah.
So what about, talk more about marketing, automation, virtual assistants? That's kind of in your spiel, and obviously the word AI. How have you evolved with that? Because we're a similar generation. How have you evolved with that in the last 5 years or 2 years?
It's so funny. I remember being a kid, and I can't imagine that your entire life is on one of these things. It's it's so much change, and changing so fast. Consistent change. But I think that's really what we do. It's because when you're in the business, when you're in your own business, to try to keep up and to try to kind of, not only with trends, but within kind of software that changes, technology changes, everything. So it's really, that's a lot of what we're here to do. And I think the virtual assistant side of it is tied in really tight.
Yeah. Because it changed so fast and everything happens quickly that people don't have time to research. And we actually spend pretty much a full day in the week just testing new software, reading about this, reading about that, doing that, trying academy. Just, you constantly have to learn to stay in your game. And the digital also, sphere, I would say, it's like blocks. People put blocks, but sometimes they put too many blocks that don't speak to each other.
Yeah.
So a lot also of our work is to have a look at all these blocks. And many times we say, okay, we destroy everything to reveal them. Yeah. Because we like to keep things.
Yeah, because I had a goal with Morisod and Bridal to build a successful charter program about 2.5 years ago. And part of that was obviously social media, and part is marketing. And too many people kind of say social media is the important part of marketing. And I say, well, social media is the exposure, but it's not the strategy. This marketing is the strategy to help get the clients to the result. And like I said, the international radio, people like Raya, they understand that. I only understand the young kids, and they understand take a picture of a bear and smile and say a joke, or to get interaction. Yeah. That's not marketing. Marketing's much bigger than that. So companies like yourself, that's what I'm excited to be working with and getting it out there. when you look at kind of yachting or diving, and I kind of put them together because that's the business I'm in. I'm from diving. I was actually, I don't want to, it's hard to say because I don't want to brag, but at 18 years of age, the day I turned 18 is when I did my PADI dive instructor test.
Oh.
And I was like, because I was at the age of 12, my family from restaurants, from the hospitality sector, and ran restaurants. And there was too many chefs in the kitchen for me growing up. So I just, at the age of 12, I went down to the local dive store for a week work experience. And then every weekend, wetsuit, clean wetsuits, and then clean fins and mask and BCs, rags and boats and props. And the boats got bigger. And 25 years later, or 30 years later now, here I am. But how do you start with a dive company or any sector, whether it's someone in yachting that wants to promote a product? What's the initial conversation look like? How do people get into that space with you?
The first thing you want to, it sounds really simplistic, but it's you find out a lot of people are not sure what they want. So it's, what are you selling?
You want to make money.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you want to do? I want to sell. What are you selling?
Yeah.
And it's like dive courses. But, you're selling more than dive courses. You're selling this kind of thing. You'll know from teaching that it was still an amazing feeling to take someone down for the first time and just see kind of their face, because the nature underwater is so different and so close and in your face to the being on the surface. And that's what you're selling. That feeling is what you're selling. It's kind of trying to get them to understand that. And are you trying to sell it as an organized corporate kind of feel? Are you trying to sell it as are you the business? Are you the person, the people? Are you the business? So it's getting to the bottom of that is the very, very first thing that you need to do.
Yeah.
And then
almost like a coaching part first, where you you try to help people understand where they want to go.
Yeah. Once you have that, then you can make a plan, because there is no, well, I guess there are out of the box plans, but the same as an out of the box suit. It might look okay, but it's not quite right.
Man, you're a good salesman there, Mike. I'm hooked. That's a good line there. You've got my business now. That is a great line. It's like the out of the box suit, Anyway, so for companies that want to go into the marketing space, could I throw a number out there in terms of percentage of income that people should spend on marketing? Is there like an industry trend? Because, with yachting, I kind of look at it, we have this income stream. We want to try and reinvest in the future, or any business. Is there a certain percentage that people should look at from a company perspective to invest in marketing?
I don't think there is a set number. No, I think it's like anything. Don't spend what you don't have. Keep it simple. Get the basics right. If you get the basics right, they're not expensive to do, generally speaking. Yeah. So get them right first. I remember when we were back working for the company, that there would be talk of, you want to be spending 10 to 15% of revenue on marketing. Especially in this day and age. And if you look at that and, you say you're pulling in 100 grand, you want to spend 10 grand a year on marketing, it seems like a lot, but it's not. It's less than $1,000 a month, right? And it's, what's your margin on that? Is that just getting your name out, or is that sales? Sure. If it's sales, you can afford to make that number bigger and bigger. If it's just kind of getting your name out, don't go ballistic on that. Don't spend your whole 15% just on kind of trying to get your name out there.
And when you do it, the other question I had for you, and thank you so much for sharing so much of this. It's very helpful on a wide variety of audience, from small businesses to big businesses. What I see when I see the authenticity of people, I see CEOs like PADI. Obviously, you're aware of PADI. I think the CEO of PADI, and Unbridled is actually a PADI dive boat. Not a dive school, it's a PADI dive boat. So we have our own dive boat number for students who come. But there's a new CEO in PADI, and he reached out directly to a lot of people, a lot of boats and companies, and offered his assistance and guidance. Do you see, when you talk about marketing with the owners of the companies, do you try and encourage them to kind of be a bit more transparent in the way they communicate with their clients, or has that got a value? is kind of more the question.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, in my opinion, if you want to be a genuine genuine service, you need to be transparent about what you offer, and transparent at every level. If you want, it has to be from the pricing to the process to what you get, and this way it buys the trust of your clients, your customers, because they know that what you say is what you get.
Yeah, understood.
And if it's coming from the boss,
Boss,
it comes from the owners. It will feed through the company, and it will feed through the customers as well. It's we were always kind of, with the last business that we were working for, the owners were always very involved, and it's customers feel super special when they get to talk to the owner. And it's this kind of real level. Not everyone is comfortable with it, and if you're really not comfortable with it, then I don't think people should be forced into doing it. Push too hard, not so much force, but push too hard to do it. If they're really not, it's not their bag, then that's fine. But you can still kind of sell that angle of who they are and what they do. They don't have to be front and center, but don't be invisible. I think it's the personal touch sells. It really does.
Yeah, it's interesting. As a captain, I do see that a lot with the guests that come and they can, oh, Captain, can we have a chat with you? I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'm here to share the experience, and help you enjoy the environment. That's my kind of biggest push. But what I can tell you, whether it's you're in the marketing field, I'm in the experience field, and what I try and do is get these clients on board to just connect with one or two moments in each day with the world, and it's so difficult with technology and phones and stimulations of news and media. And I see all these guests that come on the boat, and I let them go and they do their thing and breakfast, have a meal, watch TVs. And then all of a sudden there's like a 10-minute period where I've got them and they're sitting in front of a waterfall and they've got their tea or chamomile or they've got their champagne and they're with their family and they're leaning in and hugging their family. And I'm like, that's it. That's what I'm selling. And I try hard all day and all week and all year to get those short little moments, and that's the pitch, and I get really excited about that. So that's kind of my understanding of marketing is I go for those feels, and it's to get them is so hard.
Yeah, it is. One of the companies we're working with, he's a photographer and he makes beautiful pictures. But what we're trying to get across to him is more photos of people enjoying it, because if you get these faces, this kind of joy, there's two things that happen. One is that people see it and they go, oh, these people are having a good time, but they can put themselves in the frame. They can be like, that can be me, kind of thing. So I think it's super important. Having a picture of kind of nature and having a picture of animals, they're great, they're lovely, and they can be real wow images. But I think people in it, experiencing it, is a lot more important.
Like that lifestyle shot, of the person, not just the waterfall, of the person enjoying the waterfall.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so finally looking at, usually only take 10, 15 minutes. So this has gone on, but I really value not just your story, not just your diving story, because we connect on that level, but also the insight you've kind of given me and the audience to kind of what is marketing. And it's more than just the social media and the pick up and the live and YouTube, Instagram and all that. It's like you're saying, it's a strategy. And I'll definitely want to advise people to take away that it's like a suit in a box, like you're saying, and there is packages you can get which can help you. But if you really want a customized package and a personal feel, I think you offer a great product. And I'm kind of really excited to kind of see it evolve. What's the future looking ahead? What's the opportunity you're kind of trying to get into that space? Or because I kind of think yachting is a good space for you, but I'm biased.
We'd love to
we need people like you in yachting,
Yeah, it's where we want to be. It's it's whether it's diving, whether it's yachting. Being in that space is, it's the ocean is what we love. It's what brought us together. It's the company is Clear Coast Solutions. So it's in the name and everything. So it's where we want to be. Absolutely. The big thing for ourselves is, I personally have this dream that we do no more than 30 hours a week.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
But then we live. And, it's years and years and years ago, someone said to me that you work to live, you don't live to work. And it's that kind of really stuck with me over the years. And it's there's that, and there's doing something that you love.
So, yes. Like waking up every morning, and you're so passionate about working with people that are, also passionate about their work. And then you have these creative things going on between this kind of synergy, and it's,
it does create an energy, and that energy is attractive. You know what I mean? That energy does create more positivity. You know what I mean? I love what you do what you love, But it's like me now. I'm in Alaska today, and it's just a beautiful day, and the clients have departed, and it's a day off. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go straight back out and do what I did last week, and go out into the water, take a kayak or something, and go fish and just zone out. But it's exactly what I love doing. I'm not going to go inland. The land side of things, they complicate me a bit too much. I've got a beautiful wife and kids, and they're in Montreal. But the ocean, that's my home. And my wife and kids understand that. That's mother to me. Mother ocean and Papa time, Anyway, how can people get a hold of you? What's your Instagram handle, or what's the best method? You've got that wonderful website.
Anything. Through the website, through Facebook, through LinkedIn, we are there. WhatsApp, drop us a message. We're always happy to, have a look at when people have a project, they don't know what to do. We're always happy to look at it, put a proposal together saying, you could do this, you could do that, and then just help them on their way.
Yeah, perfect. So clearcoastsolutions.com. I love the website. I love the picture on it. I love the story and the different portfolios and the blogs. It's all information. But if anyone wants to kind of, like you're saying, get a bit of a head start on the marketing, because I think so many people in the first 1 to 2 years of their company, they kind of want to keep costs down and do it all themselves. But growth is scalable. And I think when you have the right people in your corner, you can have that suit that's customized and you look sharp at the dance.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to cost a fortune.
And your tailor doesn't need to be in your office. Your tailor can be somewhere else.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Nowadays, absolutely. Look at us. We're in Malaga and I'm in Sitka, Alaska, and we're still making it work, Anyway, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. It's Kathleen Murray on Brile. Thanks, Ray, on International Radio. Thank you both, Fifi and Mick, from Clear Coast Solutions, and I wish you nothing but positivity and the best.
If your brand belongs in the heart of the yachting world, this is where it happens. Yachting International Radio reaches over 1 million yachting professionals and enthusiasts every month, with 77 million impressions, 220,000 social followers, and 74,000 podcast subscribers. Our hosts are insiders, crew, captains, CEOs, trusted voices shaping the industry. This is targeted, high-impact advertising in a luxury niche. Visit yachtinginternationalradio.com/advertise. Your audience is already listening.